Hello everyone and welcome to episode 114 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series. For last episode we began exploring the Festival of the Four Winds, where we began with the Labyrinthine Cliffs, and today we're going to check out the other half of the festival and we're going to go to the Crown Pavilion, where we have this very convenient Lion Guard aircrew member right here, where we can just immediately travel to the Crown Pavilion. And we explored this entire area a little bit during the Living Road Season 1 story that we were playing through a few episodes ago, but there's like one big thing that is different, and then also in the story we are playing through story missions, and then the content here is going to be completely different, as I talked a little bit about in those episodes, where it's basically like an open world zone that is basically kind of like an instanced piece of content separated from like the rest of the open world zones of Tyria, though to some extent this is kind of like a continuation of Divinity's Reach. And this entire area is really cool, with two distinct major activities plus like some other small stuff that goes on here, but really two big things that we can explore through, the second of which I'm super excited. But as we load in, of course we are at the center of the Crown Pavilion, and if you look up we can see Divinity's Reach up there, and there are a ton of people here, and we just loaded in at a very convenient time because the Boss Blitz has begun. Where really quickly I just want to highlight this area right over here, and I guess we can go to it. We're in Living World Season 1, this was an ogre area, but they decided to change it from ogres to show the White Mantle, who are a very historically important enemy for humanity, and just makes a lot of sense that we would be dealing with the White Mantle here instead of ogres. But the Boss Blitz is a very fun activity that we can do, and it's very simple and straightforward, where as we explored in the story we have like 6 distinct areas around here that are themed around each of the different like enemy factions that have been chosen to represent kind of like the 6 most dangerous factions that humanity has ever had to deal with, where we have the White Mantle here, but then we also have like the ogres from back in the day, but then also we got the Flame Legion, destroyers, pirates, bandits, and centaurs, where we are just straight up dying. And kind of like a basic general idea here is we're going to have like people split up to like the 6 different bosses and kill each of the bosses at about the same time, but nowadays it doesn't really matter too much because of the concept of power creep, where these bosses die super easily. But we did seem to load into a map where some people are just like not paying attention to all the areas. Before the Boss Blitz begins, we can go ahead and just kill like a bunch of the different enemies around here just to make some progress. And I think I should maybe try to come to another spot because I cannot solo this boss, but nobody else is really paying too much attention, and all 3 of these areas just have nobody around here, which is very unfortunate. And then as each boss dies, all the other bosses become more powerful as well, which just makes everything a tad bit more challenging, of course. But you can kill enemies in order to progress a bar to start the Boss Blitz, and you can also donate gold, which is going to be nice as well to like make even more like bigger progress on the bar. We also got a bunch of friends in the center all around here, where the Flame Legion person is going to die any second. Let's come into the Centaur area, and I guess we can just help out around here to not get trampled by the Centaurs. And let's kill Karai the Cruel. So this is just a very repeatable event where you can just kill like a bunch of bosses over and over and over, and each of the bosses have like a couple of interesting mechanics, but are for the most part just like loot pinatas, and people spend a long time here just like farming these bosses over and over and just getting a ton of loot. And I definitely enjoy the Boss Blitz a lot, and I enjoy like every part of the festival, but if I were to like rank the activities and the Festival of the Four Winds, I think Boss Blitz is probably towards the bottom, where I do just enjoy like fighting a bunch of enemies. But there's another festival that is kind of just like fighting a bunch of enemies and bosses and stuff too, and I think that version is like much cooler and like more fun, and we'll get to that at some point, where this one is really fun as well. But like compared to like everything else in the Festival of the Four Winds, I just like everything else just a tad bit more. Where the Centaur is almost dead, and if you remember in the story mission in this area, we had to like navigate through the maze and not get attacked by anybody for a special achievement, which is fun. And it's kind of cool to see the area we used, you know, in the story and then used here for this meta event, where we can just like get a bunch of loot from killing bosses. Rise 1%, and there we go. And we got a bunch of achievements for that as well. Let's try to get back up towards the center as best we can once we get out of combat, and we can go help either Boom Boom Banes or Justiciar Ablion, which let's go help out with Ablion, who is the White Mantle boss, where Boom Boom Banes is the bandit boss and is almost dead. And we have some interesting mechanics here that is this, and I think, oh okay, we don't take fall damage, which is nice, so we don't have to really worry about dying. We're gonna have like these blue circles that appear on the ground. It might be hard to see because there's like so many different skill effects, where if we are inside of the blue circle, we're going to get teleported up just like what we experienced just a moment ago, and then we are going to fall. But it looks like we don't fall to our death, which is good. But kind of like with Cry, where he like runs around the maze and you have to navigate the maze and like dodge the centaurs, that's just an interesting mechanic, where with here we have to like avoid the circles, and that's another interesting mechanics. And we can see all the like special mechanics from all the other bosses are now on Ablion, because he is the last one alive, where there's like some fire tornadoes, which I think are from the Flame Legion boss potentially, and then we're going to see some centaurs, and then there's going to be like bombs thrown on the ground every now and then from the bandit boss, and like so on and so forth, where there's one of the bombs right there, so we can't stand in that orange circle. 5% health left, and basically the entire, oh, we got teleported right at the end. Basically the entire map is here, and we can go ahead and kill Ablion and get teleported once again, where we get so many rewards, especially as we have finished this, where there's also going to be a race that is currently ending and one that's going to begin in 2 minutes, where we can race around the entire map. And we can head back to the center, but I really want to go try to find something really quickly, and I always forget where it is. I think it might be this way actually, towards the pirate area. Maybe it's on the exact opposite side, but let's just run in a circle. And it is actually right here, where they have a little tribute to the ogres that used to be in the White Mantle area. That makes sense that it's actually right here, where we have 3 ogres, and we can go ahead and just defeat them, kind of like in the good old days when this festival was around for the first time, where there's just 3 veteran ogres we can defeat compared to like all the other veterans around here. And then finish off this ogre hunter, and we just got a couple of achievements, which is fun. Let's go ahead, head back to the center just to explore for a quick second, because there's a ton of NPCs all around here, and there's this race that's going on, and we can see a bunch of watch knights, and then we can see just a bunch of interesting characters, including some that are potentially spoilers, except I actually don't see that one spoiler, so I guess he's not loaded in. But we got Lord Farron here, Queen Jenna sitting in her throne.
All wish to test their mettle in the Queen's Gauntlet this year, and while it may seem you stand alone in the arena, your brothers and sisters in arms are with you in spirit.
Where she is wearing a really cool outfit, and we can get a nice view of the watch knights here. And let's go ahead and maybe even participate in the race ourselves, where I guess we can also get this hero banner if we want. And then we can run into here, sign me up, and the race begins in 5 seconds. We only have the most basic raptors, so when it comes to like an actual race, we are not going to win this race at all, as people just like go really far in front of me already. But we can navigate through all the different areas of the Queen's Pavilion, and we have to come down here instead of just jumping straight up there because we don't have the ability to. And then we got to come up the pirate ship, and all the pirates are attacking us, and actually my raptor is going to die soon because he's so low health, because he's not upgraded at all. Let's get around here. Now we're going to be in the centaur area where all the centaurs are going to attack us, but the raptors regenerating health. I think I might have dodged an arrow there, which is nice. Get around here. Raptor's back to full health, which is good for us. And then we can just keep trying to maneuver around every single obstacle. We have to jump over lava now to the different islands as the Flame Legion try to attack us. And it just gives us kind of a good like view of everything going on in the Queen's Pavilion. And we can see the bar in the top right corner, Boss Blitz preparation. It is basically being practically instantly filled since the bar like just recently came up and people are donating gold, and we can go ahead and go into the Boss Blitz again. Oh we got dismounted. Let's just try to run through here, where there's actually an achievement to donate gold, so that also incentivizes people to contribute to that. But you can also kill like a bunch of the creatures around here, where we have like all these veteran white mantles and veterans of each of the other factions that you can kill, where there's also achievements to kill them as well. So there's really like a lot of like random stuff you can do in this place, and it's kind of like a lot of like grinding as well, where you just kill bosses over and over, kill different creatures over and over, and finish the race over and over, where we finished 8th, which is exciting. We can get that reward, and then I think that is everything I really want to do when it comes to Boss Blitz, where the more exciting activity that is going on is up in the upper ring up here, where we have like all of the like bosses down here, but there are individual one-on-one bosses that you just heard Queen Jenna talking a little bit about that we can fight. And this is one of my favorite activities in all of Guild Wars 2, and I really want like more versions of this around the world with more interesting boss fights, because I just love this so much. But we have a bunch of NPCs around here, and we have like 8 different rings, where there's probably going to be somebody here at some point that will be fighting bosses in this arena, but we can try to find one by ourselves, like this one where we have an announcer. He's just going to say things, a medic that we can talk to, and I think the medic will revive us when we die. But we have a fight manager where we can go ahead and challenge different competitors, a ringmaster where we can go ahead and get into the fight, where we need these Queen Gauntlet entrance tickets, and the Master of Gambits where we can go ahead and unlock gambits, which will make the fights harder, which is fun, and then we can go ahead and just repair our armor or reinforce our armor and sell some stuff. But if you come to the fight manager, we got a bunch of different competitors where we have to progress, starting in the first tier where we have 1 boss, and there's like 3 tiers with like 4 bosses, and then once you complete the 12th boss, you unlock a bunch of like special extra challenging ones. So let's go ahead and just progress through this, and each of the bosses are going to have different interesting mechanics, and I don't remember all of them, so let's go ahead and just jump straight in. Where I remember this one, where he has a lethal frontal smash. First boss, really easy, not a lot of health, and really only 1 mechanic that we might not even experience, where we can go ahead and pay close attention to him. And he's going to have a wind-up attack where he tries to one-shot us, but he does not. Where we got Bloodsport Enthusiast. We just got so many achievements. Let's go ahead, get some festival tokens, talk to the fight manager, come back to first tier, where we now have Jubilee. We can go ahead and come to the ringmaster, and we can fight this Quaggan, who I don't remember the mechanics of, so let's go ahead and experience this. Grows when struck, shrinks while left alone. So it looks like we are probably going to want to deal like a bunch of damage and then potentially like run away, or we could try to just burst him down like that. That works as well. And where we defeated him after he gains max stacks of hormonal imbalance, where there are just a bunch of achievements here that we can try to do. Go ahead, chat with the fight manager, first tier. Next is Wind Caller Kaeldia, or however you pronounce that. Ringmaster, let me at him. Let's see what this fight is. Where this is a Savari Elementalist, summons tornadoes and knocks back. So it looks like she's just going to have a lot of control effects on us. And we have this veteran tornado here that we should probably do our best to avoid. And we can just easily kill the Savari like that. Fight manager, next. We have the final boss of tier 1, Surreal, the Blazing Light. Let's go ahead, chat with the ringmaster, get in. I also have this Wizard's Vault reward, where I've been completing a bunch of stuff. And this is a very fun boss, because I think we're going to see a more powerful version. But lethal solar flare attack and vulnerable while blazing light active, where she just one-shot us. That's insane. So I think she one-shot us because we got too close maybe, and I think we can GG. Oh, we actually can't GG here, so we just might have to straight up die. And let's try to remember what we have to do here. So in a vulnerable while blazing light is active, immunity to damage from incoming attacks stripped by grasping dark, which this kind of looks like it would be a grasping dark. So it looks like we have to kite her to this area. That makes sense. Let's go ahead, chat to the fight manager again, and let's go ahead, get in there and in here and try this again. Okay, so Surreal's all the way over there. Let's stay over here for a second. think she's gonna start shooting stuff at us, and then we try to position ourselves around a grasping dark that shows up. Maybe we have to like start the fight. So let's just line up here, and then shrouded by darkness. Oh, how do we avoid that? We're like so far away. Let's go in, and then maybe we try to burst her down and go into shroud in order to tank one of those hits. It seems like she did it to when her shield came back up, but she also does it just randomly. Like that. That's so random. What prompts that? Also, how do you just like defend against it? Okay, let's go into here and try one more time. Well, I'm going to try many more times until I defeat the boss. But we have her that gets the effect, and let's run into here where we get shrouded by darkness, protected from solar flare. So there we go. And then we have to bring her all the way back here, and then we get the opportunity to attack her. But then we need to like back up. I wonder, she probably has an animation when she's going to do the big attack, but maybe we can just quickly kill her. There we go. Light Snuffer. Complete the first tier of the Queen's Gauntlets. So now we can go ahead and move on to tier 2, Tire Rage Maw. So first 4 bosses down. Now we go to the next 4. Let's go into here. We have a char, deals damage inverse to remaining health. So we're probably going to want to try to ramp up our attacks here, maybe, where we can just be a little chill until maybe 60%, and then let's start throwing conditions, and then let's do a big attack, let's stun him, and then big attack there. There we go. Fight manager, 2nd tier. Let's fight Masticus. It's our turn to fight. Extremely high health orbs grant players blood rage. Okay. So increased outgoing damage, stacks intensity. So I guess we should maybe try to kite a little bit. And then I guess at some point we could probably just like DPS him down. We don't have to necessarily overkill. Also keep in mind there is a time limit. So we only have 1 minute and 30 seconds in order to finish fighting this boss. Otherwise I think we just instantly fail. We'll just kite for another second. Throw down a bunch of AoE stuff, and there we go. We are now defeated 6 bosses. Back to the fight manager. Let's fight Salazan. I don't really remember this fight. As we load in, we have an Asuran with a lethal fire ring. So lots of elementalists. So we're inside the fire ring. I think if we touch it, we probably die according to what it says there. Let's just DPS him down. Okay, that was kind of intense. There was a lot of stuff going on in that tiny little circle he forced us into, but good thing I have Shroud. Let's fight the crew of the pirate ship Ravenous, the final boss for tier 2. Let's go ahead and fight. I think this is going to be 3 bosses if I remember correctly. 4 bosses. So I guess it looks like they grant stuff upon death. Let's go ahead and do the classic AoE attacks. Do that big attack. That's a Watch Knight. And then we can go ahead and try to DPS them down. Or I guess they heal when one dies, so we can't really kill them at the same time. And I'm guessing there's probably like an optimal way to like progress through that, where you can kill one specifically first, because like the buff they give to the others is like less bad than others. But we have beaten at the 2nd tier, and now we can go on to the 3rd tier of Subject 7. And I remember this fight actually being really hard, or an achievement for this fight being really hard. So it splits into new uses, wind damage, and I think those oozes are going to heal him. So I think we maybe want to kill him as fast as possible. Yeah, Bloodsport Connoisseur completed 7 combat challenges. But I think there's an achievement That's super challenging. I remember struggling a lot. I'm not sure. Blobs, schmobs. Defeat subject 7 without killing any oozes. So yeah, I don't really remember. You need a lot of like single target damage, I guess. Also completed another weekly here. And then the next 3rd tier, Deadeye done well. Let's go ahead and give this one a go. Where I don't remember this fight that much either. Looks like there's a lot of bombs. Deals increased damage with kill shot at longer range, and he teleports. So when he teleports, let's go into Shroud. Like that. And then I can go ahead and try to deal some Shroud damage just out of extra health. And there we go. Not too bad. Pretty easy. As you can see, these fights used to be significantly harder way back in the day, but we have a lot of powerful options now that we can use with our skills and weapons and whatnot.
This competitor continues to impress.
So, wields Khalid Hawk. It's not like Khalid Bog upon Chomper's death. So, we need to kill them at the same time, or choose one to kill first, because maybe they heal each other. Let's just try our best to AoE. Let's go ahead and kill Chomper real quick, because he might heal. And then he gets Khalid Hog, a giant sword of meat, it looks like. Meet this murderer, defeat without denying, or while denying Chomper any delicious meat. So we just got a fun achievement there. Then we have Liadri, the Concealing Dark, the final boss of the main part of Boss Blitz, where I think this one is also pretty challenging. Let's go ahead and load into here. Vulnerable to orbs of blazing light. Where there's a cosmic rift. We can destroy that. And then I think the vision of mortality we want to pull into here. Then we get the orb of blazing light. And then we can throw it at her. And she has 3 stacks. So we got to not die to that. Come over to this one. We got another vision of mortality, and I think this boss might be the only boss that I still have an achievement left to get on my main account. Where I think we have to like throw like 8 orbs at her, which is like next to impossible, because once we throw the 3rd one, she's going to start ramping up damage, I think. Where there's also this cosmic rift. Let's go ahead, try to kill Liadri as best we can. Okay, I don't know. There she is. Let's throw as much on the ground as we can. And then she's at 20% health. There's so much going on. We just got more orbs of blazing light. And there we go. Darkness Illuminator. Where we got mini Liadri, the Concealing Dark from that, which is super fun. We can preview this. It's kind of just a massive blob, which is funny. But we can add this to our account wardrobe, and we got a lot of achievement points. And we have now completed the Queen's Gauntlet, where now when you chat to the fight manager, we can fight all of the different competitors, but we've also unlocked these 5 competitors. And where, let's go ahead and also come over here and look at the Master of Gambits, where we can go ahead and pick all of these, and they offer a bunch of different options. But I saw in the achievements, we have, oh, Light Up the Darkness is the last achievement that I need on my main account. But win 1 3rd tier match with 3 active gambits. So, no dodge roll. We are always on fire. We get hit for a lot harder. Squeamish, what is that? Hamstrung, where we're crippled, where we are outnumbered. And then Descended. What is this? Let's try this out. And let's try Squeamish, maybe. Whoops. Oh, I think we need a ticket for every single one, and I accidentally used up all my tickets. So let's come to the center really quickly, where we are going to have right over here, got the ticket vendor. And let's just buy some. You get so many from the event, it feels kind of rude to buy some. I have like stacks upon stacks of my main account, but whatever. Okay, so let's go to the Master of Gambits, and let's do Descended, because I'm not sure what that is, and let's do Squeamish, because I'm not sure what that is, and then let's be outnumbered. Let's come to the fight manager, fight a 3rd tier. Subject 7, Deadeye Dunwell, Shugar and Chomper, or Liadri. Which one's going to be the easiest for us? Maybe let's try Deadeye Dunwell, and then let's go ahead and fight. Where I'm not sure what all of these are going to be. Where we have a Quag in here, so we're outnumbered. Where the Quaggan also grows when struck, shrinks when left alone, so just like the one fight. Let's get over here, where it looks like we can't heal maybe with the skirmish. But fortunately for us, we have Shroud, which is going to be super helpful. I guess we're healing like a tiny bit. And there we go, Risk Taker and Triple Threat, which is exciting. Let's come back into here, defeat 6 bosses. We're gonna need to defeat 12 bosses with at least 1 Gambit active. So I guess let's try, maybe I'll try the Exhausted Gambit, and I should come out with Shroud. Where, let's go ahead and fight just another one. Let's fight Salazan again. And we cannot dodge roll, so we cannot dodge any of the fire attacks in here. And I think this is just like a really fun way just to like add more challenge to this entire like activity, where I guess that is like pretty easy to beat though as well. Oh, I see this one. Win 1 3rd tier match with 5 active gambits. Let's go ahead and try that one. Let's come to Master of Gambits, and you know what? Why don't we just put every single gambit on? Just pick and select every single one, and then hopefully we still have enough tickets. I have 2 tickets. Might have to go buy more, and then let's interact with the fight manager, fight a 3rd tier, and maybe Strugar and Chomper again. Why not? I'm not sure if that's going to be too hard for us, but we have every single gambit. Let's see how insane this gets. There's probably significantly hard. Oh, okay. I need more tickets. Okay, Master of Gambits. Maybe we only pick 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's drop the which ones am I thinking of? Let's drop the Exhausted so we can still dodge roll, and let's drop the Frailty. I think those might be the 2 hardest. So let's go ahead and pick these 5. And then I guess let's just do the same fight again. Let's fight a 3rd tier, Sugar and Chomper. And let's get back in, and we should dodge right at the beginning. Put our friend here. And then dodge like that. Let's stun. Let's go ahead and start AoEing. This Quaggan is going to be super dangerous. Where, let's go ahead, try to kill Chomper maybe. Where he just healed, which is unfortunate for us. But let's just kite for a second. Let's get some extra health, and then that can go on cooldown, so we can get it back up at some point. And I think Chomper is actually like super dangerous when Sugar is the last one. And it also looks like we can pick up the loot. I guess we can just keep trying to AoE these 2 down. The Quaggan's almost dead, so we can get rid of that. And let's go ahead, get Strugar low on health. Just try to DPS both of them really. We can start using both of these attacks. Let's throw these down again. So significantly easier when we don't have Frailty and when we still have dodge. But we have less than a minute left, and I think we're going to be fine here. Let's kill Chomper, and then Strugar, kill you. There we go. High stakes gambler. We have Candle in the Wind, defeat Windcaller Coyodia with On Fire Gambit active. So let's go to the Master of Gambits. I pick On Fire, and then Coyodia, how do you pronounce that? 2nd tier, right? Or was it 3rd tier? No, it's 1st tier. I cannot remember. There we go, 1st tier, and then let's go in. Let's wait. And then we're just going to be on fire while she does a lot of stuff. Let's throw all this down. And then let's go into Shroud for the last 50%. Pretty easy. That's a very, very easy achievement. Where now we have an achievement that we could go for with Masochist. Let's get max stacks of Bloodlust active. So Masochist was second tier. There we go. And then we need to pick up the orbs. So we can try to like slowly DPS him down a little bit, but we mostly just need to focus on getting the orbs. So let's throw some swiftness up. Probably don't want my flesh golem because potentially the flesh golem would kill Masochist, where we don't want that. We want to make sure we get all the orbs. And as we pick up more orbs, this is going to be even easier. So we're at 10. I have no idea what the max count is going to be. Maybe 20. But also, we'll know once we try to pick up another orb and our stacks don't go up. And we need to skip some that have spawned a while ago. So now Masochist is at 38%. Okay, there's 20. Oh, he just crippled me. Okay, 21. So it does go higher than 20. Maybe it'll be at 25, like might. We have 57 seconds left. Let's get that. And looks like 25 is the number. Let's kill Masochist. Basically one shot. 77,000 damage there. And there we go. Savage Brute obtained. We have Humble Victor here. Win a 3rd tier challenge with active Frailty and Squeamish. So let's pick Frailty. Let's pick Squeamish. So we can't heal. And we have Cripple, or we can't dodge. Whatever it was. And Fight Manager. Let's fight, I guess, Subject 7. And then let's go and kill Subject 7. For the Subject 7 achievement, I think we're going to want like a very specific build on like a very specific profession. For this, let's go ahead and just try to deal as much damage as possible. We can kill the Oozes without being worried. Throw down all these attacks. AoE, and it looks like we probably won't even come out of Shroud before he's dead. There we go. And we got Humble Victor. 15 achievement points. I'm getting pretty close to 3,500 achievement points, which is kind of exciting. But I guess let's go ahead and try the special competitors, where I'm not sure if I've killed all these special competitors actually. So let's go ahead and start with Master of Lightning, an important person from the Festival of the Four Winds and the Zephyrites. Go ahead, jump in, and I have no idea what this fight is. Stuns, deadly spins. Let's dodge that. That seemed bad. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Okay, let's go into Shroud. Let's fear her. I should get out of this lightning maybe. And then let's drop. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay. Let's try to heal. Let's get our flesh golem up too. So many stuns. Where we just need to run away. Oh, no. Okay. Get that fear. Let's back up here. We almost have a heal. Okay. Let's get some more stuns going. Let's go into Shroud. I almost died there. Let's try to back up for a second. Let's try to fear her. There we go. We just canceled one of her big attacks there. Looks like she's frozen. Big attack there. There we go. So not too bad, but definitely the special competitors are definitely getting up there in difficulty. Or let's try the next one. Palia the Errant. Let's go ahead, go in. I don't remember for this fight at all either. I don't even know what we're about to fight. We got a human here. Executes targets, reflects projectiles. Okay, good thing we don't have too many projectiles. Where is that the execute attack? There's also like big orbs spinning. I think we should probably just try not to touch them. Right, let's try to sit in the center here. I'm not sure if they're moving in closer or not. Right, let's get out of that. Looks like she's very slow too, so she doesn't really move around too much. Where the orbs just disappeared. can stun her again. And then once we get to 50%, we can just start executing her ourselves. And largely doesn't seem too bad. Let's just stun break, get some big attacks. More orbs. Oh, those almost hit me. I'm not sure what they do. But let's just try to finish her off really quickly. There we go. Poly the Errant completed. Next, let's fight a special competitor, Champion Gladiator Wayne. And I think this is the character from the Savari personal story, if I recall correctly, who stole Calidborg. So this is kind of cool. Where we can see he has a different type of Savari sword. Let's go ahead. Deadly Flurry, ground barrier, so we're probably going to want to run away or stun him when he does. Oh my, those are deadly indeed. Okay, I've lost all my health, all my cooldowns, all my shroud. That was insane. Okay. Okay, let's try that again against Champion Gladiator Wayne. Let's go into here and let's summon our Flesh Golem. Yeah, let's dodge that. Try to get lots of conditions on at the start. And then maybe I can fear him. Okay. Oh, those are just insane. I think I have to be like faster with my fear there. Maybe I try Grasping Darkness. So I should hold on to that because that would be a very quick thing to do. And I think I actually need more tickets real quick. Let's try this again. Just throw these down, dodge, get out of that, save our stun, and it's going to be soon, so let's get rid. Oh, I did it a little too early, but I can fear him like this. Maybe that was bad. I kind of been doing it, but I just froze him there, and then okay, we're actually dealing a lot of damage here. Okay, let's actually just go into Shroud, do that. He just didn't do it a single time there. I was either really lucky or I was just like insane and like really on top of my stuns there. I'm going to go ahead and say it was the latter. Let's come to the fight manager. And now we got Suriel the Radiant Light, where Suriel has returned. Where a really fun thing is that in Lion's Arch we can find Suriel training, and since all the festivals in Guild Wars 2 except Winter's Day and Shadow of the Mad King went away for a long time, for like a few years I guess, and then came back. So Suriel was kind of just running around Lion's Arch for like a few years, and then she returns where we can go ahead and fight an even more challenging version of her. Let's go ahead, jump into here, try our best. Returning challenger switches stances. So we need potentially to get into those shadows again. Where we got Bow of Truth over here. Got 3 Bows of Truth. Where is she vulnerable? Okay, we can deal damage to her. But we're currently being pinned down by the 2 Bows of Truth. I'm not sure what I should try to prioritize here. I could try damaging her or trying to go for the bowls. Let's try to get as much damage as we can. She switches stances. Let's heal up, top off our health, and start that cooldown. Where she destroyed both of the bowls. Let's go into Shroud. And then, okay, so she's going to be... Oh wait, is she still vulnerable? Okay. I thought she was invulnerable again. I guess I should have really tried to capitalize there. Let's try to kill her. We're really low on health. But she's also really low on health, and there we go. So 4 of the special competitors defeated, but I remember the 5th one is very challenging. Where we can fight Turai Asa, who is an incredibly important lore character, where he was a super important person, and Alona who defied Palawajoko, where Palawajoko in the original Guild Wars was eventually freed, and is an interesting character who is located in Alona, who we hear about every now and then. But King Trios is just a really, really cool lore character, and is also one of the most challenging, either the most challenging or the second most challenging characters that we can fight. The other being Suriel, where you try to get to the 8 orbs. But let's go ahead, try to fight Triasa. Here he's going to bow. Kind of went a little early there. King of all Alona, where he's taking no damage. And I don't even remember what we're supposed to do here even. I don't remember the mechanics at all. Where he just got stunned and just annihilated. Okay, I looked up the fight mechanics a little bit and it looks like we just need to survive. So let's go ahead, fight to try also again. And then at 1 minute, 25 seconds remaining, we're going to have to dodge a shield. And then we are going to have to try to deal as much damage as we can. And then that's going to happen every 20 seconds. So let's just evade that, evade that. Let's summon our flesh golem. And let's just keep running. Just keep running, just keep running. We can heal. Big slam on the ground. Okay. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. But this is definitely super nice for us. Okay. So almost right about now, he goes to the center. And then we can attack him. Okay. So he is vulnerable for just a moment, but we need to break his break bar just like that and then deal as much damage as possible. Where he's still a massive threat even without his shield, and we just full on died there. But just a really cool fight. Where when we come into our achievement page here, we have him to defeat where we get Kingslayer, and then we have these 2 achievements, plus we have a bunch of these Gauntlet fights that we can do with Gambits, where I could potentially finish that if I wanted, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this good, where potentially in future years we can return and we can try to get some of these even harder achievements, especially as we gear up and get an even better build. My Raptor's just having fun there. Where I think that's going to do it for me for this year with the Festival of the Four Winds, where I've had so much fun in these last 2 episodes just exploring through this festival, a major part of Living World Season 1, which we will be continuing next episode. But I really hope you all enjoyed watching this episode and the last episode, and I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember, as always, to drink some water and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time in the world of Tyria. Goodbye.